And don't start it off with like, and we are recording.
Guess what? Guess what? And we are recording. We're live.
Yep.
Got him.
Saw that one coming.
Welcome back to Tots. This is our return to Totober for the finale. And this time we're going to be talking about The Haunting of Hill House. And you might be like, oh, why are you not talking about Bly Manor? It's the new one. It's because this boy over here didn't watch Bly Manor with me and my mom.
Our mom.
So, our mom, yeah.
Don't you try and fucking
Me and
take
my
her from
mom.
me.
It's my mom only. Sorry. Sorry.
Motherfucker.
You are no longer her son. Sorry. So yeah, he didn't watch that with us. And we told him how great it was, and he decided, alright, fine, I'll try Haunting of Hill House. And then I don't actually know exactly how much he loved it, but it seemed like he liked it at least quite a bit. That's all you have to add.
That would be a decent assumption.
Yeah.
Just a decent one though.
Only decent.
Yep.
Alright, so where do you want to start? I'll let you start it.
Well, the story bounces back and forth like every single episode does between past and present day.
Yeah.
Where past is when they were kids and they lived in Hill House. And like the strange things that happened, which leads up to like, you know, what I would consider like the finale of the past, which kind of broke the family apart in a way.
Yeah.
Because all of them were kids and they didn't deal with it well because they didn't quite understand everything at the time. So they grew up with like misinformation and all kinds of things. And
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, because of that, they kind of all grow apart to a degree. The siblings stay closer, but still kind of grow apart. But like they're still somewhat close. And while their dad, after that event happened and they left Hill House, their dad apparently got like really distant to them because I think when they grew up and they were able to like move out and stuff, they did like pretty quickly is what I got.
Yeah.
It seemed like they like kind of distanced themselves from the dad after like once they got old enough to leave.
Yeah.
And it's because of all kinds of, you know, like I said, misinformation about like the night of when their mom died and everything. Which no, I would not consider that a spoiler because you actually find out pretty quickly in the season that the mom is dead.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely not a spoiler.
So I'm not going to go into specifics though. The entire point is that there's a mystery as you're watching as the audience. There's a mystery because the kids don't have like all this information because they were kids and they also blocked certain things out and whatever. So the kids don't completely remember exactly what happened either. So when you're the audience and you're watching through what happened, you're kind of figuring out what really happened.
Yeah.
While like the kids themselves are just kind of, you know, they do talk about the event and whether or not they think it was real or like what happened or whatever in present day, but it's just kind of a roller coaster of like a mystery on like when they say things in the present day, is it true? Did that really happen or did it not? And then it'll eventually show us like in the show if it was true or not.
Yeah.
And like so yeah, the past and present thing spans through the whole season, so you don't actually get the entire full picture of the past until like the end.
Yeah.
Which I actually did like.
Yeah, I liked it too. And I like how the mystery was unraveled through seeing everyone's perspectives.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say is that what's really cool too is they organized it to where every episode from like when you start off the show
Yeah.
focuses on one of the 7 members of the family in present day, and whoever they're focusing in on present day, they also focus in on when they were a kid,
Yeah.
like in the past.
Yeah, which also shows you their perspective for
Yeah,
certain
also,
events.
yeah,
Like,
it allows you to see their perspective versus like the other siblings' perspective and stuff, and even like the
yeah.
dad and mom's perspective.
Yeah, because you'll see the same event again, but it'll be from like a different perspective, and you're like, this is really cool.
Yeah. And it does end up showing the mom and dad's perspective as well. Except
Yeah.
with the mom, obviously, since she's dead, they don't have like a present day section for her. But
Yeah.
I
Obviously.
mean, kinda, but not really. But anyway, the dad, however, he's still alive, and they've kind of distanced themselves from him, and it's pretty cool because the show lets you see all of the uh five kids, their perspectives in present day and past in like 5 episodes or whatever, and then you get to like the 6th episode, and then the dad shows up in the 6th episode, like where he's actually trying to kind of rekindle his bond with his kids.
Yeah.
And as his present day self is trying to rekindle that like relationship with his kids, we also get to see his perspective of the past.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah, and it was and you're talking about the like the standout episode when they're at the funeral, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was avoiding not saying who, but yeah.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna say who or what
Yeah.
or when, or I'm not gonna give specifics, but yeah, it's a really fantastic episode, and it's a standout episode for the season, where it's basically they're at a funeral and shit goes down, and it's really cool because like almost the entire episode, maybe not almost the entire episode, but there are a lot of like long takes. Like it's like straight up like 10 to 15 minutes of this camera panning around the characters while they're like moving around and like talking to each other and stuff. Like,
Oh
and then
yeah,
eventually
that
it
one
cuts away.
episode, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool because they did it to where like this one funeral episode, it's like the entire episode felt like a one-shot take.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And they would even transition from present day to past in what felt like one shot.
Yeah. Well,
So
I
they
mean, they
kind of
did have obvious cutaways, but like they were all like there was a lot of long takes where there was like no cuts straight up, just
yeah,
like
but they would do things where
them
like
doing
the
their
present
things.
day dad would walk down a hall and the camera would pan past like a door or a hall or like a wall or something, and then they'll
Yeah.
pan back around and then he'll be in the Hill House and it'll be his past self and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that shit was so cool.
Yeah. And I thought it was actually a really cool and like clever and intelligent way of like showing the dad's perspective of their history with the Hill House, because of the fact that like since he was the dad, then that means that it makes sense that his memories would be the ones that are less shattered and like scattered and everywhere.
Yeah. So they
So there's a
let
lot
him
less
be like
cuts.
last. Yeah,
Well,
that
yeah, that's
too,
what I mean.
but they also made him go last in terms of like his present and past like episode that focuses on him.
Well, he technically wasn't the last.
I mean, of the alive people, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a really clever way of framing his memory, his recollection of whole the whole debacle that went down at Hill House, because it's like, it makes sense that it's all in one shot, because like I said, his memories aren't as scattered as people that were literally kids when they lived there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember like half the shit that I did when I was a kid, so that actually makes sense.
Yeah. It was pretty fucking cool. Like the way that they, I don't know, the way that they kind of planned out how they were going to tell the story.
Yeah.
It
And I
also
will
felt
say
very
that,
organized in
yeah,
that sense.
yeah, it did. And I also feel like the having like cutaways every now and then actually like worked even more because it was like it almost felt like the director or whoever the choreographer or whatever basically being like obviously his memories are a lot more intact than the kids, but there's still a bit of scattering going on with his memories. Like he remembers it very vividly and like almost like 100% like perfectly what happened at Hill House. But there are some cuts every now and then, cutaways. Or cuts just as in like the shot, changes to a different location without like panning over to it.
Yeah. So, what I also realized is that Hill House doesn't necessarily have like a I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It does and it doesn't really have like a main antagonist.
I mean,
It's kind of both ways. It kind of does and kind of doesn't.
no, I'd say it technically does. But yeah,
Like I
I can
said,
see why you're
that's why
saying
it's
that.
complicated because you even
Yeah,
had to answer with technically.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand like why you're saying that because yeah, it is very complicated and technically doesn't necessarily. I know it technically does have a villain, but it's very like
Well, see,
complicated.
that's what I mean. It's like there's clearly a villain, but I don't know if I would ever consider it like main antagonist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, because it doesn't really have a main antagonist, it just has a villain.
yeah.
Which I thought
Mm,
was interesting for a show about like a haunting of a house and everything, because usually there's always like the one demon or whatever in the house that they're like, that is the villain. It is the villain of everything. Oh my god.
yeah,
And then they focus in on that like heavily, but this show didn't do that.
yeah,
It explains the villain, tells you their name and everything and why they're doing what they're doing and stuff. Basically, so it explains stuff, and the villain kind of explains also the fact that it exists anyways, explains why the family is kind of like fucked and stuff.
yeah,
But that's about it. The villain is more or less used to explain why certain things happened on that one night rather than be like the actual central villain of like the whole show.
yeah.
And they actually do a good job too of like explaining the villain's background and why they even did what they did.
Oh yeah, there is definitely some like horror, some horror. There
There's
is
actually
some
some horror.
there is a whore in the house, just so you guys know.
That's hot.
Oh yeah. Nah, but there is like this like there is a lore behind the house. It's just that's not the focal point of the movie or of the show, which I think is what you're saying
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, cuz like there are a lot of other horror movies or shows that
And what I
do
loved
make
about
that
it
lore the focal point.
was that see the villain is honestly treated more or less like they're just another spirit in the house, but this is like an evil spirit because they were actually evil in their real life before they died rather than oh
Yeah.
it's like it's a demon. No, it's
Yeah.
literally someone who when they were alive was fucked up and then when they're dead they're still fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the other spirits in the show. They're actually treated like that's all they are is like they died in the house or whatever, and so they just like roam the house, but they're not all evil.
Yeah, and some of them aren't even like good or evil. They're just kind of like neutral in the middle.
Yeah. So
In
I mean,
fact,
it's
there is
pretty
actually
cool
a
because
main
there's
character that's like right in the middle. I'm not gonna say who, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, there's one that's like right in the middle.
I mean, yeah, there's a shit ton of ghosts in the Hill House, and a lot of them you'll just notice in the background watching the family if you have a keen eye, and that's like all they do is they just watch the family, but they don't actually fuck with them or do anything. So they're like very
Oh yeah.
passive.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of ghosts like that too, yeah, that were literally just like there and they didn't even do anything.
And then there were ghosts that would interact with them to a degree or like spook them or something, but then you were able to realize that they didn't actually try to like hurt them or anything. It's just
Yeah.
because like the person saw them and they were freaky looking, so they were like, "I'm scared."
Yeah.
But they were scared because the ghost was like creepy looking, but it's not because it was actually a bad ghost.
Yeah. Granted, there are 2 scenes with the ghosts in present day that I would say is, well, maybe 3. Although I'm not even sure if there was necessarily a ghost on one of them. I mean, I'm not sure if it was a ghost on any of them. Like, because the more I think about it, the more I think that it wasn't. I'm not gonna go into like specifics though, but yeah, there were ghosts in present day, and they were actually being like genuinely like like they were doing creepy shit, like crawling up to you like, I'm gonna get you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was also ghosts that just kind of did their own thing, like they weren't even watching the family. Like there was literally, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was this one ghost that in the past he was like a guy who worked on the house,
Yeah.
and every time you see him you don't even fully realize he's a ghost to begin with, and then you go later on you're like, oh, that guy that's constantly like working on part of the house is actually a ghost.
Oh yeah, that was really cool because it was also like it was a reveal that you didn't see coming because yeah, you've seen him a couple times and then they're like, by the way, revelation, he's dead, he's a fucking ghost.
Yeah, see, and
And he's just chilling there.
he doesn't watch them like those one ghosts do, even though they're not evil, and he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything. He literally seems like he's a normal person because he just looks like he's a guy doing his job.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, the ghosts in this show are pretty interesting in how they're portrayed, and it's very different from usual horror movies or TV shows. And it's also kind of funny because I actually compared the second show that they made, The Haunting of Bly Manor, to American Horror Story Season 1. But I'd actually compare The Haunting of Hill House to it a lot more. Like, I'd say that's a lot more akin to the first season.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Well, I mean, you haven't seen Bly.
No, I mean I agree on the Hill House part of it.
Yeah, I know. I was just yanking your
Except I think that
donkey
American Horror
boodle.
Story Season 1 has more of a dark theme through like the entire thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And tries to make the ghosts a little bit more creepy, in my opinion. Because, and the reason I say that is because I've always been a person who, when I watch movies, most of the time I always go, ghosts are overdone and they're not usually done correctly, in my opinion, to where they're scary. So instead, I've always thought that humans are scarier, like evil humans in movies. Because I'm like, you don't know what they're capable of or how how crazy they are.
Yeah.
And this movie or this show literally did really cool shit that actually made the ghosts more creepy, like the aforementioned ghost that I said was a bad person in real life, and now they're just a spirit that is a bad person in the afterlife as well.
Yeah.
Because then it gives the spirit more of a human factor, which makes the spirit more creepy.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the oh man, what was I gonna say? No, I literally
Got
had it.
him.
I literally had it.
Drool starts coming out of your mouth. Whoop! That was the drool dropping and hitting the ground.
I literally had
That's
it.
how drool sounds.
What did you say right before I started saying that?
Oh God, don't try and make me pull out something out of my memory. It sucks ass.
Bruh.
When I'm not trying to. Hey, when I try and remember something, I'm actually like really good at it. But like when I'm not trying to remember something, my memory is like, bye, I'm out, bro. See you
Um,
later.
I think my entire point that I was getting to, even though I don't remember the exact thing I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the evil ghost.
Yeah, I think my point was that they kind of mixed what I think is actually more creepy, which is humans that like you don't know what they're capable of because they're so like evil or crazy. Um, and they mixed that with the spirit world and being like, yeah, this person is, crazy evil and shit when they were alive, and now that they're dead and they haunt the house, they're just a crazy evil spirit now.
Yeah.
And that usually is not done in ghost movies. Most of the time it's like, oh, yeah, they liked Satan or something when they were alive, so now they're a demon after they died.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous shit like that,
And
where
then they
I
go,
end up not being very scared anymore because I'm like, this, it's just stupid.
yeah, and then they go. Also, he was like your friendly neighborhood doodad. He was like fucking Ned Flanders. Hi diddly ho, neighbor. I'm gonna go worship Satan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, got him.
doesn't he actually do that in one of the episodes?
Nah, he actually is Satan in Treehouse of Horror.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
epic.
yeah. I know. I thought it was pretty spicy. Yeah, he's like, hey, it's oh yeah, I forgot. It's Homer. He wants a donut, and then he's like, oh fuck, I want a donut.
Then
So Ned
as you
Flanders,
do.
yeah, and then Ned Flanders as Satan appears, and he's like, donut life, and then he's like, all right, and then he's like, if I don't eat the whole donut, I don't have to give you my life. Got him. And then it. Okay, I'm not gonna go into specifics. It's a jokey joke. Like the episode is a jokey joke, but that's what happens. He wants a donut. Ned Flanders Satan appears. It's epic.
Right.
Did you like that little detour I just took just to fucking
Yeah.
explain in dumb terms what happens in Simpsons episode?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So anywho,
Anywho, most horror movies or shows do Satanism for ghosts. That's where you were at.
yeah, it's basically not scary to me
Mm.
because I'm like, what is there to be scared of like them just going completely all the way like unhinged and just being like, it's a demon. Oh no. Something about that's just not scary to me.
Yeah. Like,
And
oh my
it's
god.
also generic because almost like, am I wrong in saying that a lot of fucking haunting movies about like ghosts and shit always take that angle where they go, it's a demon?
Uh,
It's a lot more common
eh,
than if they were to be like, no, they were a person and now they're dead and they're still evil.
I don't know. I think I'd say it's like a 50-50 chance you'll get either a demon or an actual
I
person.
don't agree.
Well, okay, maybe here, let's say maybe 60-40. I don't think it's as big a gap. Gap. I don't think it's as big of a gap that you're making it out to be, but I do think there is. I will agree. I think there is a bit of a gap where it is more often a demon, but I don't think it's like so heavily outweighed. Like maybe 60-40 chance. Something like that. 65, 35. I'm mathing, but I'm not good at mathing.
Well, good job.
I know I'm proud of myself. I mathed right. Are you? Is that? Are you gonna? Do you have more to say? Like about that whole Satanism
Now I
angle
just
thing?
think humans are scarier than ghosts, so I was thankful that this show actually tried to do something that was kind of combining both.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a spirit, yeah, but it's also like it was a human.
Yeah.
It's not, they didn't take that route that I think is dumb, where they just go, it's a demon!
They're like, actually, this house is Satan's baby. He shot it out his booty hole himself.
Okay.
Onto Earth.
Alright. That sounds epic.
I think it does, yeah. Oh man, I think I have an idea for a story.
What? What the fuck?
I'm gonna make that into a story. Satan shot out his butthole a house onto Earth, and it's his baby.
Okay.
That actually isn't a bad idea because of the fact that it's so like far out there. Like if I tried to take that concept too seriously, then it'd be like,
Bruh.
But like that's the kind of concept you'd probably just have fun with and be like, bruh.
So yeah, the story is basically, I like the evil ghosts, and the story is basically like it switches between modern day and the past is showing us from each person's perspective of what happened, that like in general when they used to live in Hill House. Present day is like all of them grown up and how they're all like not a super close family anymore and shit, and how the dad seems to be have kind of pushed away completely from his kids, and them kind of like coming back together for this one funeral that I won't spoil. And then from that point on is like you're kind of nearing the end of the show somewhat, which is where like the rest of it's kind of more or less about, like, it still does past stuff, but it's a little more about like them coming back together as a family in modern day.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the whole storyline.
Yeah. I was gonna add on to what you said earlier though about the fact that you like the whole idea that they mixed your idea, which is that, you know, humans are spookier to you than ghosts because, you know, they are real, or at least we have definitive proof they are real. I mean, I don't know actually.
You don't
Maybe
know if we have definitive proof that humans are real.
I'm not sure actually. I don't know, man. Hey,
Humans
look at me.
might not be real. Earth might be flat. We don't know.
Look at me. Alright, I think we have definitive proof humans exist.
Okay.
But yeah, it's...
Take a picture of me and make sure the scientists know.
I take a picture of you and there's no one in the picture.
Maybe humans aren't real.
Oh my god. Science, you've gone too far. Science is taking a picture.
Gone too far.
Science is just taking a picture of someone.
Makes sense.
Oh shit. Whoops. Trying to open the window a bit more because it's getting hot up in here. But yeah, I like the yeah, I think I like how they kind of, it seems like they kind of mixed what I find spooky and what you find spooky. You find humans spookier than ghosts. I find ghosts spookier than humans because of the fact that they are the unknown. They are, you know, the unexplained. We can't really fully understand them as Zach Bagans would like to.
As Zach Bagans would like to? Why did you randomly bring him into this combo? Zach Bagans would like to know that they exist. Just so everyone out there knows. I think they already knew that.
That's
they didn't. They do now.
That was just like what came to.
Why?
That's just what popped. That's just what popped into my head when I said that we don't fully understand. Then I thought of No, I thought of the Ghost Hunters intro where he's like, "There are things we may never fully
yeah.
understand. Understand."
As much as I'd like to.
As much as I like to like you. But yeah, it's a mixture of like, yeah, the things we don't know, the unknown, and humans, which are spooky.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, and what I mean is because, like, you don't fully know the intentions of all the ghosts. Like, there's this one ghost that's really tall, and you never. At least, I mean, maybe I was just not paying enough attention, but I don't think we ever learned his intentions. He was just kind of, like, there to be weird
Well, I
and spooky.
mean, the dad is kind of like sensitive and shit, and he seems to know the house and the spirits better than any of the kids. And it
Yeah.
seemed like to me that the dad was like, it seemed like to me that if you looked at the ghost in his face, then he would probably get angry or kill you or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the dad was like, look at me! Look at me!
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes it so, like, what I think is, like, the perfect mixture of unknown and human, because this
I would
ghost used
agree.
to be a human, but also it's the unknown because you're like, not only is it a tall, lanky fuck, but, like, you literally don't understand his
Hey, what's
intentions
up,
fully.
guys? My name is Tall Lanky Fuck. How you doing?
Like, even if you know how to, like, what to do to not piss the ghost off, you still don't fully understand it or its intentions, which I think makes it spookier.
Do you not?
I do. I mean, not to mention all the other ghosts that you see that they don't even like. They're not even a focal point. They're just kind of like in the background or whatever. That you also don't know their intentions. You don't know if they're, just ghosts, just kind of chilling, or if they're literally.
They just kind of chilling.
Oh,
Well, I can't
what
hear
the
you anymore.
fuck? Oh, now the now the recording's behind. No, it's not behind. It froze. Alright, so yeah, my computer just froze. And now it's back. So the audio should be fine and synced up. But that's why it just went fucking weird for a little bit there. But yeah, you don't fully understand the intentions of the ghosts that are just kind of like in the background. Like, you don't know if they're if they're like actually plotting something, like they wanna take these fools out, or if they're literally just sitting there like watching them because they're curious what they're doing, or maybe they're just fucking spacing out. They're high on drugs. Who fucking knows? Maybe they're their guardian angel. You don't know. And that's what makes it spooky.
They were actually a drug addict before they died.
Yeah, they were just fucking tripping balls in the afterlife.
Hell yeah. I wonder if you die from like overdose on drugs, if like the rest of your existence as a spirit, you'd be super high
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's, I'm not going to go into like specifics, but I think it is pretty spooky how they explain the house. Especially with the one specific room the red room that they can't get into. I was about to like, I was trying to explain it and I was like, I mean, I can just fucking say red room. It's not like it's going to spoil anything.
Red Room is a spoiler.
Oh my god, you spoiled something that's revealed in like the first episode, I think.
Uh,
Oh my god, I can't believe you.
no.
What the fuck? Oh my god. I mean, you don't get the explanation for like what it is or what's going on in the house, obviously, because it's a mystery. So you gotta go solve it yourself, bitch. Rob. Help me out here.
I agree.
Add something.
I agree.
Add something.
What do you? I've talked way more than
Add
you
something.
have.
Now!
You're the co-host. You're the host.
Add something now!
I've already told them like the whole like summary of the story, basically.
I know, you
without
fucking
spoilers.
blazed through it. I was like, bruh. I was sitting here like...
It was a good summary, though, without
my
spoilers.
hair flying back, you know, like when you're air diving.
When you're air diving.
When you're skydiving and your fucking skin just goes, bruh.
What the fuck?
Disclaimer, I haven't even gone skydiving, but I think you get my point when
Disclaimer,
like the fucking
next time.
air maybe. Ooh.
Oh.
Nah, I'm just goofy today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm a goofy ass boy.
Totally magodally.
Godly madorly. But yeah, I was gonna say I think it's really cool also how like the horror and the ghosts and all that are actually not they're like they're basically metaphors. They're not even like I mean they are kind of like, you know. Nah, I'd say they're basically metaphors.
What are?
Like the ghosts and such and the spooky happenings. Not all of them are.
I think that
not
would
all
be
of them.
dumb if they were metaphors.
No, not all of them. But I'm saying, like, quite
Just
a
like
lot of
most
them are like more like a like being haunted by the past, quite literally. You know how people are like, you know, I'm haunted by my past because I had an awful past.
Yeah, because I'm a bitch baby.
Yeah.
I can't get over the past. Fuck my life.
Yeah, it's like that.
But like even more cringe.
Even more cringe.
Yeah.
It's less cringe because they're like literally being haunted by the past.
But they're ghosts. How can they be haunted?
You just broke my brain.
Ghosts
I swear the viewers are actually gonna think I'm high because they're like, like, dude,
like,
guy that's high like that, you probably get confused.
They'd probably think you're high because I said you were earlier, and they'll probably think it wasn't a joke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then on top of that, you're constantly like, "Whoa, you broke my brain!" Oh.
You did just break my brain, though. You said, how is it a haunting if they have ghosts? That's literally what a haunting is.
That's not what I said.
That's what you said.
Can ghosts be haunted? Now you sound even more high.
Can ghosts be haunted? You sound high.
You said. God damn it. You said.
That sounds like someone that's high would be like, bro, what if ghosts could be haunted?
You sound more high because you literally said, I'm high. No, but you literally said. I just like say put shit in your mouth.
They're gonna think we're both high.
Probably. No.
Bruh.
No, but because I said can ghosts be haunted because you said they're haunted by their past and it's like a metaphor and I'm like ghosts can't be haunted and then you completely thought I said something else. So people will think you're high and you're not quite listening to anything I'm saying.
Wait, I said ghosts are haunted by their past? Wait, I said ghosts are haunted by their pasts?
Yes.
No.
That sounds so high. Yeah?
No.
Yeah?
Nah, but what I meant is the main characters are haunted by their past. If I said ghosts, I'm pretty sure I didn't, but maybe I did. I don't know.
That's how high you sound. that you said something that you didn't even mean to say. That's pretty fucking high, bro.
Yeah.
That sounds so high, bro.
That's why I started laughing. Because I was like, oh man.
And you know what else high people do is they literally laugh at their own jokes.
Hey, you know me. I laugh at my own jokes, like, just in
Even when
general.
I'm not high, but when I'm high, I do it even more.
Even when I am high, bruh.
So, now you contribute, because I've already contributed a lot to this conversation about Hill House, okay?
I have two.
Yeah, you've agreed with things, and I did a really good quick
Yeah.
summary without
You
spoilers.
did a quick summary, and I said, yeah.
Yeah, that's you contributing.
Nah, then I started going on my own spiel about stuff, so gang.
Gang, 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 gang!
Gangu. Gangu! You like that reference?
Are you gonna go?
I thought you were gonna respond to my reference, I guess not.
No, I'm done with the memes. I want to do the actual, our actual Tots.
But it's fun.
You're so high.
The memes are fun though, Rob. Except the memes.
Except the memes.
You are haunted by your memes.
Oh.
Instead of haunted by the past, you're haunted by the memes. But yeah, I think it's supposed to be a story more about people being haunted by their past rather than being haunted by actual ghosts. Although there are actual ghosts in the story. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying I think that also a lot of it has to do with them being haunted by their past. But quite literally.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not quite convinced that, like, everything in the modern day is spiritual. I think there's kind of a big chunk of it is because they're, like, so much in their head about the past all the time that they actually, like, make things up in their head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah. Definitely.
Like,
especially since the ghosts, like, in modern day outside of Hill House look vastly different from the ghosts that are in Hill House, even during
yeah, they
present
look
day.
a little bit more like zombies or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I was kind of like, I feel like this is in their head.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And I think that was also a clever way of, like, possibly the director or whoever pointing that out, if that's, like, what they were trying to do, which I'd imagine they probably were.
If
Is
that's
that
what you were
they
trying
made
to
the
do,
ghosts look differently.
Hey, buddy, who made movie? If that's what you were trying to do, we got it.
Nah, you're memeing. And you said you didn't want to meme. I can't believe you.
Yeah, I would agree though. And then there's also
I would agree though.
There's also the fact that the ghosts seem to have wildly different, like, they actually seem to actually do things when they're, like, real ghosts.
They actually seem to actually.
They do. Whenever they the ghosts are real, not only do they usually not look like zombies, but they actually tend to do stuff, while the ones that look like zombies, which I think are just in the characters' heads, they kind of just, like, crawl towards them and make them, like, scared, and that's it, and then they just go away.
They gave them a nice little heart attack to boost their day.
Yeah, and then they go away, and I'm like, okay, that didn't... It's a ghost, apparently, and it did nothing. Which is another reason why I think it's in their head when they look like zombies.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Spook gave you your daily aneurysm.
Yeah. Which I think makes for a good way to relate to the characters, because then you feel like you're kind of going through the same thing they're going through because you're watching it unfold.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I have a feeling that probably most likely was actually what was happening. Because there are actually, now that I think about it, some things that the characters see, some ghosts and other stuff like that, and visions, that are not like at all connected to Hill House, and they don't show up in Hill House.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bet you that they probably are supposed to be like a literal, like, visual representation of being haunted by the past.
Yeah. I'd agree. And I
And
mean,
then
that's
Hill
kind
House,
of. Go ahead.
and then Hill House is the visual representation of being haunted.
Of being actual haunted.
Actually haunted, yeah.
You're being haunted. Oh yeah? Give me a visual representation. Prove it.
Takes a picture. Takes a picture of you and you're not in the photo.
And what?
And you're not in the photo.
Okay. You're being haunted by the past. Oh yeah? Prove it. Show me a visual representation. It just sounds so stupid. That is how the show is, though, bro. That's literally Steve's entire character is that he goes, "Oh, I'm being haunted, am I? Show me a visual representation." I don't fucking believe you.
Oh, I'm being haunted. Give me proof.
Oh
Or
yeah, we
die.
should probably say that because of the events that happened, certain things happened. Like Steve doesn't believe in the spiritual realm at all, and he believes that his dad just won't tell them certain things because he had something to do with the mom's death.
Yeah. And he thinks that they're all crazy.
Yeah, and he doesn't. So yeah, and he ends up. He's a writer, so he writes a book on like what happened, and except his book, obviously, he kind of writes in what he thinks happened, like that he thinks would be logical, which kind of takes the entire spiritual aspect out of it.
Yeah.
Which like pisses off the rest of the family. And then the rest of the family is just kind of like, "Fuck you, Steve! You
Yeah.
made our life story into a book, and now you're rich. Fuck you!" And then he's even like, "Yeah, but since you're in the book, you can also have some of the money because like that just makes sense."
Yeah.
So like, do you want the money or no? And then Shirley, which is like the biggest bitch in the family, she goes, "No, I will not take your blood money." And I'm like, "Are you trying to tell me he killed someone to make this book? What the fuck?" She kept calling it blood money, and I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
"What?"
yeah. Yeah.
It's not like Steve killed their mom and then wrote about it.
Yeah. Actually, that's what happened. It was his master plan. As a kid, he was like, if I kill my mom, I'll have a great story to tell in the future.
I'll blame Dad though when I'm old.
Yeah.
Um,
They'll believe me. I'm a kid. I wouldn't hurt a fly.
So Steve, I think, is one of the more interesting characters because mentally it seems like it kind of screwed him up more than the rest because he's like actually a good guy and a good brother to everyone. But the thing is that mentally he's like kind of grounded in reality so hard because of what happened that he doesn't believe in anything like that, like spirits or anything.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the book, he got rich, and that he kind of then ends up getting kind of distanced from his other siblings because they don't really appreciate that he wrote the book. And then, which I think is kind of dumb, to be honest, because it's not like he was a kid just like they were when it happened. So for him to write a book on it just kind of seems like him just kind of telling his own story in a way, and they just happen to be part of the same story.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a little bit dumb that like all of his siblings were mad about it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it seemed like Luke didn't really care.
Yeah.
Luke seemed like he literally couldn't care less. Like he didn't care about money, he didn't care that he wrote the book. He was just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Cuz I don't remember Luke in any of the scenes like doing the same thing the other ones did, where they were upset with him about the book.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Steve and Luke ever even talked about the book whenever they talked to each other.
Yeah. I don't think they did.
So I don't think I think he literally didn't give a fuck. He was just like, whatever, man.
Yeah, but that's probably because Luke has a lot of his own problems to deal with.
Yeah. Well, like
And he's one of the ones that's actually
does.
trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
whole family does, but Luke is the only one actually focusing on his problems instead of being like, I hate you,
yeah,
Steve.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's one of the few actually trying to fix himself.
But yeah, so Steve is like a good person and a good brother, and he gets a lot of flack and a lot of shit from his siblings and his family and stuff. And because of what happened, he doesn't believe in spirits, and he also believes that his family has like this crazy gene that's also in his bloods,
Yeah,
where like eventually he'll just snap and he'll go crazy. So he's basically like, I don't want to have kids because my kids will be crazy.
yeah, yeah.
So because of all those reasons, I think Steve might have been my favorite character because he was the most complex.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not to give credit to any of the other characters. All of the characters were like very complex and well developed.
Well, I thought that I would say my favorite character and explain like who they are in the show and kind of their stuff, and then you could do your favorite character, and then we'll talk about the other ones.
Ah. Baba Booey. I don't know. I'd probably have to give it to Luke.
Yeah.
I'd say he's probably my favorite character, especially since I feel like he had the worst time. So he had a lot more shit that he had to like crawl through to get out on top and become a better person.
And that's actually in past and present for him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He had the worst when it came to who had it worst when they were kids in Hill House. He had it the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
And
when they're older, he also has it the worst.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I really like Luke too.
Yeah.
And here's another thing is that all of the actors and actresses in the entire show did a fantastic job. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, the acting was
I would actually go as
fantastic.
far to say that my second favorite character was the dad. Because he just, I don't know, he gave off like a real like family man, like love and care for his family in both present and past. And like he just really cared deeply about them and just wanted them to be happy and be okay. And it's pretty sad too because the dad is presented in a really good way in the show because you get the same feeling from him that he loves them and wants them to be fine and okay, whether it's present or past. But in the past, him and his kids were all close.
Yeah.
And then in the present, we see the opposite, where he still cares the same amount about them, but they kind of sort of
They're
push him
very
away.
distant. Yeah, they're very distant.
And he's actually trying pretty desperately to like
Reconnect.
rekindle the relationship.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I got really roped into the dad story because I was sitting there rooting for him and hoping that he was able to be successful in making his kids like want to be around him again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. I'd say that the dad was definitely
I think his name was Hugh.
probably my second favorite character. Huey.
Yeah, I think it was Hugh, if I remember.
Fucking Jimmy Neutron's dad, bruh.
And then let me think. I don't know, the rest, literally like the rest of the entire cast, after Steve being my favorite character and the dad being my second favorite, I feel like all the rest are like tied at third because all the rest were still so great that it's kind of hard to list after that.
Yeah. Bruh. You wouldn't say Luke is third and then the other two are fourth? Other three, I mean? Bruh.
Well, no, but that's only because I actually really like all the rest of the characters pretty much equally,
Oh, okay.
except for Shirley. Shirley would be below everyone,
Yeah. Yeah, let's
and that's
just have
just
this
because
one segment all dedicated to Shirley and just like have one quick, fuck you, Shirley.
yeah. And we can't. We What sucks is we also can't give spoilers on why she is such a bitch. But
Yeah.
but
I
let's
will
just say,
say
if you watch the show, when you get to the end, you'll probably be like, yeah, they
basically
were
the main
right.
reason she is a bitch is because she's like so high strung up and like acts like she's above it all and shit.
Yep.
And I will say that I actually think that the ending was really good, and it did help me understand Shirley more, and it also made me like, it made me like, since I understood her more, I didn't think of her as much of like I didn't think of her as a bitch as much. I still think she was though, but but I thought of her as a bitch like a lot less.
Literally, in my opinion, it went from you're a bitch and no redeeming factors to then being like, okay, you have some redeeming factors, but you're still a bitch.
Hmm.
That's how I ended the show. It was like, you have some redeeming factors, but you're still a bitch.
Yeah.
While all of the rest of the characters, like, all pretty much end on a note where I'm like, I actually like all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that for the most part. Yeah, I'd say as well. Like all of them besides Shirley end up in a spot where I like them all. I mean, I like them all from the beginning, really. They all are interesting characters with
True.
like where and it shows them that they have a good side. You don't, they're very complicated.
Yeah.
That's
Shirley is the
probably
one that starts off as a bitch and still ends as a bitch.
that's what I was gonna say. That's probably why we don't like Shuri. That's why we don't like Shirley because she's like the only one that you don't really see that much of a good side from her unless it's literally like, you know, like life or death situation. She's going to help people out of that kind of situation
Bro, I'm not even gonna
or
spoil
something.
it, but there is a situation near the end where one of her siblings is like having a complete mental breakdown, and her response is, I'm just gonna stare at you, cry a little bit, and then just like, let's get back in the car. And I was literally like, you're not even gonna hug her or anything? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I get that she
Well,
cried,
no,
so then you could.
I think she like lent her a hand, but still, it's like
Yeah,
you'd
she
think you
helped
would
her
like
off
hug
the
her and shit.
ground.
Yeah, but you'd think she would like fucking hug her and shit and like embrace her.
I was just like, I get that she cried, so she felt something, but I think it's still pretty cold to not want to comfort her in any way and just be like, wow, what you just said is sad, so I cried, but now I'm over it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Shirley never
But
really
I
gave
also
me a like warming feeling from her.
no, that's what I'm saying, and I'm saying that like, and that's the thing. I think that's actually really good character writing though, because of the fact that there are people out there that are like total fucking bitches, but like obviously they have a good heart. It's just they're total dickheads.
True. Keemstar.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess.
Keemstar is a total dick, but I feel like he actually has a heart though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd agree. It seems like he has a heart. Yeah, he's just a total dickhead. And hey, now I can tag him. Get me in the trending page, baby. Me running to the trending page like.
Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know, dude. There's Nelly, Shirley, Theo, Steve, Luke, and those are the siblings, and then there's the mom and the dad.
Yeah.
The mom did an amazing performance as well, just like everyone else. I don't really know what else to say other than that, really, to be honest, because everyone did an amazing job. It's just my favorites
The
are Steve
writing.
and the dad.
The writing was fantastic.
Yeah, I never at
It
one
felt
point
like we
felt like the
were,
writing was like off or weird or like,
yeah.
and thank God, because some things that I watch nowadays, even if I get into a show and I'm like, the show is so good, like I've noticed nowadays, writers will sometimes completely randomly drop some sort of meme thing in the show, like just to be like, look at us, we're relevant or something.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
like, do you realize your show was really
Pepe
good?
the Frog.
Your show was really good and you
Playing
didn't
with the cool
even
crowd.
your show was really good and you didn't even need to do that because the show was so good, but then because you did that, it actually made like that episode worse.
It's so much worse too when it's like the stalest fucking meme under the sun too. So it's like they're like, I pranked you, got him, troll face, and then you're
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
and they try. Yeah, I was gonna say, and they try and act like they're
ah,
relevant by digging up like old shit that no one like that isn't relevant anymore, really.
yeah,
Or they'll just do something that is just super cringe, and maybe it is somewhat relevant, but it's super cringe. Where they'll just have like a character dab, and you'll just be
oh
like,
yeah,
"What?" Or they'll like floss or something, and you're like,
yeah,
"Stop." But
yeah.
anyways,
I
I
said a
was gonna
cardinal
say
sin. I said a cardinal sin in the one Teenage Bounty Hunters review. A cardinal sin of TV shows is to end on a cliffhanger. Another cardinal sin is to have a fucking dab in your show. That's just cringe.
in my opinion, it's to have any type of like meme thing in the show.
Yeah, but a dab is like memes are just cringe in general. Like to have them in media, but like
The only way a
a
meme is
dab,
funny or anything in
I
media,
die.
yeah, the only reason that memes could ever be good or funny in media is if they are like the writer is self-aware of what they're doing and then they actually try to create a meme by making a joke in the show.
Or I will say this: there are some instances where it's good. It's just very rare. Like if it's like the thing that the meme, its source material is actually what the movie or show is. Like if there's a Spider-Man meme and then that Spider-Man meme is in a Spider-Man movie, that works. I feel like because kind of makes
Depends on how
sense.
it's done.
I mean, yeah, I agree. But if it's done well, that's what I'm saying. Is it works a lot better. It's like,
Like that one
hey,
Spider-Man
they're
meme where it's
acknowledging the
a
Spider-Man meme.
comic book where Spider-Man is pointing at another Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they did that as like an end credit thing for Spider-Man
Into the
PS4
Spider-Verse.
or something. Or yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
it
Into the
was Into the
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. Yeah, they did. It
And
was
like,
for
see,
Into the
that's actually
Spider-Verse.
good because it's like not even in the main movie. It's just like as a joke afterwards.
Yeah. Plus, it works with the idea of Into the Spider-Verse because it's all
Yeah.
about like all these different worlds colliding.
But
So then it makes
anyway,
sense to have that meme of two
I just
Spider-Mans like
wanted to
pointing
bring that
fingers at
up
each other.
because I don't know. I've seen more and more shit that's like really dumb and just will add meme culture for no reason, like completely out of left field. This show did not do that.
Yeah.
And I was thankful because I was actually kind of like worried because like Shirley had kids and stuff. I was worried that some like fucking random scene would come up where the kid shows Shirley a meme on her phone or something or whatever.
Or she walks into its room and he's like, "Get out of my room, Mom! I'm playing Minecraft."
Or she walks in his room and he's like dabbing aggressively.
He's playing Fortnite and he goes, "Oh, I got the absolute battle royale!" And the explosion noises I'm making are at dabs.
Yeah. Luckily they didn't do anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can assure the viewers watching that Bly Manor does not do that either.
Thank God.
Yeah.
If you did meme culture stuff in like a horror type thing, whether it's a show or a movie, I think you should just go all the fucking way because you're gonna be cringe anyway, and just go so cringe that it's fucking funny. Where like the killer in the movie, or like the spirit that's trying to kill everyone in the movie or whatever, just like kills someone and then dabs, and the other characters see it.
It should, yeah, not only that, but the killer should be a fucking laughing, crying emoji.
Yeah, boy.
So then when someone dies, you just see a dabbing, laughing, crying emoji. I mean, I think there is good ways to implement memes or
Yeah, I
internet
literally
culture.
just
It's
told
just
you the
very
best way
rare.
possible. Just have the killer every time they kill someone dab.
Mm.
So then I'll learn to expect it while I'm watching it, and I'll think it's fucking funny.
Mm.
Podcast over.
So yeah, Podax over. Podax
Hot ass over.
Podax
Ooh.
Podax over. The Podax over. Over and out. So yeah, what I was saying though is that I think there's a good way to implement that kind of stuff into a show or movie, but you know, like 99% of the time it's cringe and bad and it's not implemented well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My entire point to begin with was just that this show didn't do it, though.
I know.
Which is a good thing.
I know. And I agree. I think it is a good thing, and I'm glad they didn't do it either. The funny thing is I'd say that this show, Hill House, it almost kind of feels like if Shameless had a haunted house in it. Or a show like it.
What?
Because if like Shameless had Hill House in it.
What the fuck?
Nah, because like shows like Shameless and Shameless are basically about these like, families that are at least somewhat broken, and they have like a lot of problems, and they're very complicated, and they get into a lot of bad shit. But at the end of the day, they're family. And I kind of feel like that's what this show reminded me of, except
Well,
for
we
with
found
the
out
haunted
what the
house, because
fucking.
that was like the focal point of the story.
Well, we found out what the clickbait will be.
Yeah, Shameless with a haunted house in it.
No, it'll be the haunting of Hill House with the Shameless cast. The haunting, the haunting of Shameless.
If Shameless was a horror movie.
The haunting of Shameless. That sounds so retarded.
Shameless Hill House.
Yeah, the haunting of Shameless Hill House.
No, it's just Shameless Hill House.
Yay.
Because Hill House is shameless. But yeah, no, the clickbait can be like if Shameless was a horror movie.
I mean, true. If it was a horror show.
Yeah, I know, but movie sounds better.
No.
If it was a horror movie.
No.
I'm gonna put it in the title anyways, as if it was a horror movie, because that sounds better than if it was a horror show. But yeah, that's what I meant, is that the focal point is the family and their struggles and their problems and overcoming them and shit.
And there's also drug abuse, which means it's shameless.
Yeah, that's basically like, okay, Shameless. That's what it is. Any show that has drug abuse in it, Shameless. Breaking Bad, sorry, you're a Shameless clone.
True. It is, though.
Oh,
Walter has a complicated family and everything.
Yeah. Oh, is that a pile of cocaine I see? Sorry, Dexter. You're a Shameless ripoff.
Bruh. I don't really know what else to say about it, though.
Yeah, I don't think I know if there's anything else I really wanted to say about The Haunting Oh,
I mean, actors
Hill House.
and actors were great. The characters were great. The story was great. The spirits within the show were great.
The twists were great. That's something we almost forgot to bring up because there's quite a few twists.
What the twist?
Yeah, and that's what makes you go like. It makes you go like, what the twist?
I don't remember a lot of twists. I remember like one twist where I was like, "That's cool."
You were like, bruh, moment, or you just like, that's cool. Eh.
Yeah, there was a one that I can remember that I was like, "That's cool." And
Yeah.
the rest of them I don't remember being completely shocked about. Like I kind of felt like I saw them coming.
Well, there was one. There's two I remember. There was one near the very beginning, and there was one like at the very end.
I don't remember the one at the beginning.
It was in episode 1.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That's all I'll say with it. I don't want to
Yeah,
give
I
it
know,
away.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, I don't remember.
All right, fine. I'll tell you. All the main characters all die in episode 1. They all die.
People will think that's a legit spoiler.
Yeah, they'll
like,
actually
"What the
think I was.
fuck?"
Yeah. No, I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Only 5 of them do.
Right.
Now they'll think I am actually for real. Nah, I'm not gonna spoil
Yeah,
that ass.
that's all I really have to say. Someone who's not even like a huge horror fan actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's it, and that's a big deal. Like Rob does not enjoy that many horror movies, and it's just very rare. Horror movies or TV
And
shows.
it's usually because of multiple reasons. In my opinion, I think the majority of horror movies and shows are very stereotypical and kind of follow the same beats to the point where I just kind of feel like I'm watching the same thing over and over and over. And
Yeah.
then I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. Like, I get it. And I'm not a fan of it. So why would I continue to watch all these horror movies that are just like copy and paste?
I mean, that's usually like more mainstream horror movies. Like if you check out
No, I know.
the indie scene for horror movies, my god, they going ham over
Yeah,
there.
but here's the thing: is that when I watch any horror movie ever, I can almost always see where it's going.
Yeah.
Like almost every horror movie I've ever seen in my life has always been predictable to me on where the movie is going to go.
Yeah.
Same thing with shows; they've always been predictable, and
Yeah.
I've always been able to be like, I know exactly where this is going, and I'm not having that much fun watching it because of that. I would rather horror movies have more mystery in them and me not sure where it's going.
Yeah.
And this show actually delivered in that aspect where I actually was interested. It's not because, and I mean, on the other side to it is that I don't think most horror shows and movies are actually scary. So I'm like, the only way I'm going to like a horror movie or show is if A, it can either make me intrigued and interested in the characters and story, and I actually can't tell where it's going to go, so I'm interested to watch and see where it goes, or B, it's actually scary.
Yeah.
This one wasn't scary, so which is kind of for most horror movies, in my opinion.
Yeah, although I could see
however-
it scaring some
however,
like lighthearted,
It did
easy to scare people.
Did succeed really, really, really well at the first thing, where the entire show had interesting story points, interesting characters, spirits, and everything. And none of it felt generic. None of it felt stereotype. I actually didn't know where it was going to go, so I had to keep watching to find out.
Yeah.
And
that's
that is
half the fun.
why I enjoyed it as someone who normally doesn't enjoy horror stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you enjoy The Haunting of Hill House, and I'm talking to like the viewers, I would 110% recommend checking out Bly Manor, and I would recommend to you, Rob, to check out Bly Manor because it is like it is on par, if not better, than Hill House.
Bruh.
Well, actually, I'd say it's around how good it is. Like, because I could see someone liking it less, but still liking Bly Manor, and I could see them liking it more, but still liking Hill House. Personally, I think it's either on par or I don't know. I think I like Bly Manor just slightly better. Slightly more, I mean.
So are we getting on to our final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to make that quick recommendation, especially since it's like the new one. So some
Oh yeah,
people
by the
that
way,
like the
everyone,
first
this
one
is
might have not
our.
even known about it.
Oh yeah, by the way, everyone, this
Bye,
is our
everybody.
final episode of Halloween Tots. So just so everyone knows, this is finale, just in case anyone didn't know.
Well, if they didn't know, then they didn't even read the title because I'm gonna put Totober finale.
Well then, fuck me. I didn't even have to say any of that. I'm now gonna go cry.
They hear you say that and they check the title and they're like, "Oh my god, it is the finale!"
Oh my god, he's right, boy.
Oh my god, I wasn't wearing my glasses.
So anywho, who's doing their final thoughts first?
Um. I'm I'm gonna go first. And with how absolutely fantastic this show is, and like the story and the characters writing, literally just like basically just about everything is fantastic. I would give it an 8 out of 10. So yeah. The main reason is because it doesn't have that spook factor. You know, you kind of go to horror to be horrified.
Ha!
Brr.
Trudeau.
It do be Trudeau.
So my final thoughts is that the show was great, and on my rating scale, 6 is slightly above average, while 7 means great. So I'm gonna have to give it a 7.
And our scales are the same.
So I'm gonna have to give it a 7 because I think it was great.
Yeah. And
A 7 is still a recommendation, as in if somebody is thinking about watching it, then yeah, if I give something a 7, that means I do recommend it.
Yeah.
It just isn't like, the highest rated thing from me, but I still would recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would give Bly Manor a 9 out of 10 in case anybody's wondering, because I have no idea if we're ever going to do a Tots on that. I mean, we might, but it'll probably be a while.
I came for Hill House and I got Bly Manor.
Hell yeah! Gave you a little surprise, a little snuck into your DMs and said, "Hey yo, B." Bly Manor was a 9 out of 10.
Oh my god!
Imagine sneaking into a girl's DMs to give her your rating on a TV show.
Bruh. Hey baby.
You're talking
Bly
to
Manor
your
a 9 out of 10, and then she goes, "Oh, you get me so wet."
You're like talking to your friends and you're like, "Yo, dude, I slid into Alice's DMs earlier," and he's like, "Yo, dude, what happened?" And you're like, I gave her my rating on Bly Manor.
Then what
It
happened?
was a 9 out of 10.
She came over and
She said
me.
she gave me her rating, and she said she didn't actually really like it. And then so I said, "I disagree with you. Fuck you, bitch." And then I blocked her.
She said, "But you're really cute. I'll fuck you." And I said, "No, your rating's too low. Get out of here, thought."
My standards are higher than disagreeing with someone, but still fucking them.
Sounds political now. So anyway. So anyway.
That's the end of the podcast. I'm trying to end it before we just keep going. So anyway.
Well, you have to actually do the end.
I know. That's what I'm gonna do. So if you if you enjoy hearing our tots, smash that sub button and ring a ding a ling ding ding that bell, bitch.
And if you don't agree with our opinions, give us a dislike. But if you're somebody who has high enough standards to be able to disagree,
You have a high IQ.
thanks for interrupting. If you are someone who has high enough standards to disagree with someone but still like them as a person, hit that like button.
Leave us your thoughts in the comments down below. I almost forgot. And we'll see you
In the next
a dooba doo.
Tots.
A dooba doo. Dooby dooba dooba.